When it comes to holidaying, I consider a location to be a good holiday spot if it fits these three categories. Number one, it has good food that is unique to that country. Say for example, like the sushis and ramen of Japan or the spicy food of Singapore. Number two, it has beautiful locations and environments to look at and take videos and photos of. So like the shrines and temples of Kyoto or the vast urban landscape of Tokyo as seen from the top of the Tokyo Skytree. And number three, it is fun to play. Not necessarily games, but just interactive elements of it that makes it a memorable moment. For some people, it could be going to museums or aquariums, and for others, it could be going on shopping sprees in massive shopping districts or shopping centers. And then there's the obvious options like theme parks, say like Disney World and Disneyland, whatever the difference between the two is. But with Thailand, and specifically Bangkok because that was the only city I was in, there was one more subcategory that I never would have thought of until I went there, and that is the transport. And more specifically, the tuk tuks. Now to me, transport had always been the part of the trip that you don't tell your friends about because it's just simply getting from point A to point B. We do that in our everyday lives anyways. However, with tuk-tuks, getting from point A to point B unwittingly made its way onto the third category, which is the whole fun to play aspect. Now, tuk-tuks, they get their name from the sound that the engine makes, so it's an onomatopoeic word. Onomatopoeic. It's a hard word to say. So essentially, they're like motorbikes that run on gas. There's the driver at the front, and there's a compartment in the back that can fit maybe like 3 or 4 people. But by that point, that's when it starts getting really uncomfortable. There was this one time in Bangkok's Chinatown, I saw one group fit like maybe 6 people in the back. So I don't know if I have footage of that or not, but if there is, put it up. Now in Bangkok, tuk-tuks and taxis, those two terms, they're used interchangeably. They're pretty much synonymous. Like we'll say tuk-tuk and then they'll refer to it as a taxi. Because yeah, essentially they really are one and the same. Of course there's the regular car sort of taxis. At the top of the tuk-tuks they also say taxi. So yeah, one and the same. They are a bit on the pricey side. On average, like from our hotel to whatever location we were getting to, it was about 150 baht, which translates to around $5 US. Now keep in mind 2 things. Our hotel was at the city center, so it's pretty close by to all the tourist locations. And number 2, cost of living in Thailand is much lower than like America, Canada, Australia, and the likes. So to us, yeah, that like $5 US, that's yeah, like pocket money, but to them, like it's a different story. So yes, fun to play. Never would I have thought that the boring activity of getting from point A to point B could ever fit into that category. And just a quick addition to my notes here, yeah, tuk-tuks, they're not exclusive to Thailand. They're actually across Southeast Asia a lot. Every country, you know, has their own take on it. And it's unique to every driver as well. They add their own personal decorations and touches to it, and yeah, you really get a sense for that. Some drivers are older, and then like the decorations are less less flashy, and also they'll take more precautions when driving. And then there's the young and brash drivers who will put their foot on the pedal and go full speed demon. And it gets pretty bumpy with those young riders, man. Alrighty. And there's also some drivers who would put up a net on the right side of it so that if they're ever like turning left, people don't just fall backwards out of the tuk-tuks. You know, by the time that we arrived in Bangkok, my family told me that at that time of the year, it's from the beginning of the year to that time, which was around the 15th of January, 400 people had already died throughout Thailand in traffic accidents. Yeesh. Traffic of Thailand. Gosh, people ride on hard shoulders and make what's supposed to be a 3-lane highway a 5-lane. No one uses indicators. So that's why tuk-tuks are so special. It's the feeling of adventure and the wind blowing through your hair and the adrenaline from speeding through the busy intersections of Thailand. And with no seatbelts. It almost feels like going on a roller coaster, but you're actually getting to places. And it's also a part of everyday life over there. It seems so out of the ordinary until you realize that tuk-tuks are a part of their everyday life. It's part of their culture. It's certainly dangerous, yes, but at the same time, it's not something you can do at home, so you just go out of your comfort zone to do what you feel is sort of maybe almost unlawful from where you came from. Such a liberating feeling having to ride without a seatbelt. Feel like such a rebel with a cause. You feel like you've been liberated and the reins have been taken off you and you just go along for the ride. And let me tell you, it's the ride of a lifetime. And with that, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I want to quickly point out that I'm very happy that I finally reached 1,000 subscribers after 3 years of on and off uploading. It just goes to show that if you actually really just hunker down, you put in the work, and you have a consistent quality uploads, and you nail down your target audience, and you build up your identity and truly understand what your channel is about, then yeah, you will build up a good community and then you'll be in this for the long term. Of course, you know, in these 3 years, I've always been experimental. I've been doing like gaming stuff, and then there's always the odd uploads here and there just to make sure like people remember that I'm still around by having like a consistent upload. But yeah, that's not a good strategy. So next video will be a similar format minus me sidestepping like I just did. I will be talking about the floating markets, which, yes, as the name implies, it is literally a market that is floating on waters. Well, like a river sort of stream. Yeah, well, more than a stream. After that, another video with a similar format, but on the train market, which you may have seen like in the last video, like just short snippets. But then this video I will show like a more extensive look. How was this approved by the government? Was it like did it exist before? It just feels like one of those cases where it's so like radical and it pulls in enough tourist money that the government just turns a blind eye to it and be like, yeah, sure, yeah, yeah, okay, well, yeah, it's part of our attraction, yeah, sure, go ahead, conduct your business as usual. You will never see anything like that in like Australia. Never! There'd be way too many like safety regulations. And after the train market video, I will post a cinema video of the temples in around Bangkok. Those temple facades, like the walls and the decorations, they look crisp in glorious 4K. I also went around with my Canon 80D and a 10-18 wide angle lens, and I also attached it to a gimbal as I walked around. So you really get a wide, like full scope. You really get the full scope of everything. And I think you guys will like it. Alright, that's that. Enough stammering and stuttering. Thanks for watching. Keep on procrastinating, and I'll see you next time. So, see ya. I messed that up real bad. Just slam the camera and stop it mid-sentence.